When children learn to read, it actually develops their minds. Reading shapes thinking. It helps them do everything well.
When you can't read, you can't comprehend nothing. She was having trouble reading and, focusing, and she was having problems. So they got her a tutor.
Constance was in my daughter's second grade class, and I had signed up to help in the classroom.
I really didn't know I was lacking, but when I thought it was okay.
And every time it was time for her to go to see Miss Davis, she would get excited, and that kept her motivated, I think, where she would want to read.
The CMS system, it costs about $8,000 to $10,000 per child to put them through school per year. And if a child isn't reading by the end of the third grade, they're probably not going to learn to read well. Kids don't drop out of school until high school, so you've got several years where the school system is funding their cost, and they're getting very little benefit.
Our mission is to improve the reading, writing, and spelling skills of low-income children who are struggling with literacy by providing free, long-term, one-on-one instruction from highly trained literacy tutors. What sets us apart and makes us so effective is our training. We use a research-based approach. It's multi-sensory, so we're utilizing multiple pathways to the brain. Every letter and sound is introduced in an audio, visual, and kinesthetic way. So while a child is looking at the letter and they're seeing it, they are also saying the letter and the sound that it makes as they're tracing the letter on a textured surface. So they get that stimulation in multiple ways. And that's really what helps a child who's been struggling and for whatever reason is not learning to read the traditional way in a classroom setting or at home.
Reading is a part of my everyday life. Because right now I'm taking AP United History, and you have to read the book. If you don't read the textbook, you will not learn information. And if you don't read the book, then that's just on you. And I guess that is how it is in college, because it is an AP class. So, and if I didn't learn how to read, I wouldn't be passing. And that's not okay with me or my Nana. Math Honor Society is basically or if you have an A and B or any higher math classes, you're allowed to tutor other students that need help, or you're allowed to help teachers. So I'm also in Math Honor Society. So I also work at this place called Youth Empower Solution. It's a nonprofit where I work with other adults to partnership and community change. Okay, so Miss Davis, so I was telling my dad, I was like, man, I want to work, I want more money, I want my own money, I want my own income. She was like, I don't know, you already have, I juggle a lot of things. I do a lot of activities at school and at church. I'm very, going. And she was like, so I don't know. And so she talked to Ms. Davis.
I have a friend who works at a grocery store, and I went in to talk to her to see if maybe she would help Constance, be in a position to help Constance get a job there. And she said, actually, I think Constance ought to work for Chick-fil-A.
I feel like my personality is just for Chick-fil-A. I have outgoing personality. I'm just smiley all the time. And she was like, well, you got the job. And I was like, what? And I looked back and I was like, Miss Davis, Dada, I got the job.
When Constance came back to tell us she had gotten the job, she said, I start tomorrow. And we couldn't believe it. It was kind of just right down there.
I was like, wow, I can't believe. I was like, this was too unbelievable. I was like, wow.
So the other things come out of the Augustine Literacy Project, but besides just teaching a child to read. For example, one of the ways that, because Constance and I have remained in contact, and we keep up with each other through phone calls and texts, and seeing each other too, and when she's working at Chick-fil-A, we'll stop by and say hey to her. Try not to get her in trouble too much, but this other relationship that has been created is pretty powerful, to have friends to kind of help carry you along the way. And in fact, I just 2 weeks ago was in the ran into one of my other students' parents, and she said that her child had just, she's in 9th grade, and that she has now been moved up from standard to honors classes from first semester to second semester, and to look back in elementary school and to know that that child was really struggling in reading, and now she's in honors classes in high school is huge. And that was a mom that I don't see all the time, but I ran into her, and she couldn't wait to tell me all about it.
I've never seen a nonprofit organization that has as great of an impact for such a small amount of cost. It's a remarkable investment in changing a child's life for a pretty small amount of money in the scheme of the value that's created.
We don't need to build kids' self-esteem so that they learn to read. We need to teach them to read so that they gain some self-esteem. It's the reading that comes first.
Reading opens up a whole nother world for kids. You know, they'll open up a world they've never seen. And I think that's what happened with her. It opened up a door that, say, I could be anything.
My biggest wish for Constance is that she will go to college, and that she will find a career path that suits her and her big personality, and that she will be able to help others down the road. And I know just from what I've seen is she helps in the community, she helps other people, she tutors kids who need help now. So I know that she will pay it forward, whatever she's learned in life and all that her Nana has given her, help pay that forward to other people.
If I hadn't learned how to read, I figured I wouldn't be where I am.